Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Wallace. I'm the VP Marketing and Communications at Mitacs, and I'll be your MC for today's event. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de vous accueillir ici aujourd'hui pour cette présentation post-budgétaire de Mitacs. Welcome, everyone, to the Mitacs Post-Budget Showcase. We're here today to hear firsthand about some of the really tremendous, amazing work Mitacs interns and the innovative companies that we partner with do every single day. But before we do that, I'd like to turn things over to someone who really needs no introduction, Canada's Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, the Honorable François-Philippe Champagne. Le ministre Champagne a été élu en 2015 après avoir eu une carrière comme homme d'affaires, avocat et spécialiste de commerce international. Après les élections de 2015, il est devenu secrétaire parlementaire du ministre des Finances jusqu'en 2017, quand il était nommé ministre du Commerce international. Puis, en 2019, il a été nommé ministre des Affaires étrangères, un poste qu'il occupait jusqu'en janvier passé, quand le premier ministre l'a nommé à son poste actuel. So Mitacs is extraordinarily lucky to have such a committed partner in the minister. He's really a leader who understands the importance of driving growth and innovation forward in our country while providing wonderful opportunities for our young innovators to shine. Ministre Champagne, over to you.
Well, merci, Jacqueline, for that very kind introduction. I think you made sure to see that I've moved from job to job. You know, it's been quite an extraordinary journey, but I'm really pleased to be with you today and the amazing speakers that we're going to hear about, whether it's John, Adrienne, Ravinder, and Audrey. And I'm very delighted to share the stage with you and Mitacs. I mean, you're doing miracles, and I just want to say to John, thanks for your leadership, John. I mean, you've led many organizations with an amazing team. And I was reflecting, for those who just joined us, and before I was joining, I said, what Mitacs does is really make things possible, because I was remembering it's usually the first work experience or the first training experience which is the most difficult to get. And when you can find an organization like Mitacs, which is really helping you to do that, then you open the door to so many possibilities. So really delighted to be joining you and be associated with the tremendous success. I was joking before that I tried to do my part in training because now one of Mitacs' senior communication manager has been in my team for many years. So I must say, John, I did my best in training for a while, and some of my team now is with your team, and I think you're going to be well served with Adam and your team, and it's a real pleasure to be there. Dear friends, chers amis, it's really clear that to seize the full opportunity that lies ahead when we build back better, we need to build on Canada's competitive advantages. And we need to ensure that Canada will meet the demands of the global marketplace. And when you think about the future, and when you think about what is the most precious resource we have, is obviously people. And it's obviously our young people, because they are the one who are going to drive innovation, technology, science. And we all know that the way to attract investments is to have talent. Talent attract investments. So therefore, when we invest in our young people, when we invest in skills, when we invest in opportunity, when we invest in our future, we all win as a society. So it's difficult to express even in words how proud I am about the work you're doing, because the opportunities you're opening up for young people is tremendous. Et on sait que la réussite de nos jeunes sera la réussite de tout le monde, de toute l'économie, de toute la société dans notre futur. Et c'est pourquoi le travail que Mitacs fait à travers le pays est si important, parce que, comme je le disais, Mitacs, ça favorise l'innovation, ça favorise aussi des opportunités pour les étudiants, pour les diplômés à travers le pays, d'avoir un premier stage, de pouvoir s'intégrer dans le marché du travail de façon efficace. And the real combination of innovation and skills will certainly help drive the current and future prosperity of the country. And I was really proud to see that in the last budget, not only we believe in what you're doing, John, and the whole team at Mitacs, but we doubled down. I mean, some would say we tripled down, but we really doubled down on our effort to support you, because it's not about the money. I mean, because when you think about the money, you'd say close to $1 billion is very significant. But for those who are with us today, what's more amazing is that this will help create 85,000 work-integrated learning opportunities for post-secondary students. And if you think about that, 85,000 opportunity is tremendous. And this is on top of the 5,000 positions I think we created with you, Jacqueline and John, when we were facing the COVID response, because we knew that our young people could really help us in so many ways to tackle the biggest challenge that we have. And obviously COVID is one, but I think the other big one that young people, and hopefully we'll hear from some of the panelists, is the challenge of climate change, which is another big one. And I think some of the panelists will be talking about some amazing innovation that they're doing. So what I would say to you is that let's really focus on what we can do more together. I know that Mitacs is critical in developing the talent we need to get the job done. I certainly wish everyone involved in Mitacs many more years of success. I look forward to hear their inspiring story, either the companies who have provided opportunities and those who have benefited from these opportunities. And to the young people with us, I would say there's three things that would come to mind. I would say the first one would say, seize the moment. There's never been a better time to reinvent the world. We're just out of, or about to be, of the probably biggest challenge we ever faced as humanity, both in terms of health and the economy. And when we're talking about building back better together, I think the voice of young people and the skills, the talent, the energy will be essential for us to do that. The second thing I would say, let's be ambitious. The world wants to hear from you. There's never been a better time, I think, to be a young people, because now with social media, you can make your voice heard and you can make your talent seen around the world, and you can contribute in so many ways to our society. And I would say, let's hope that Mitacs will help you reach your full potential, because that's really what we want to do in enabling Mitacs to continue to do the mission. So with that, Jacqueline, John, I'll turn over to you and hear about the amazing stories of the people that are joining us today. Merci encore. Bonne journée.
Thank you, Minister. Merci, Monsieur le Ministre. Maintenant, je vais passer la parole au PDG de Mitacs, John Hepburn. John first came to Mitacs in February of last year and joined the organization with extensive academic and research experience, as well as a background with industry partners and a really keen understanding of the innovation ecosystem in Canada. Il a été un leader exceptionnel pendant une période sans précédent et nous sommes très, très chanceux de l'avoir à la tête de Mitacs. John, la parole est à vous.
Merci, Jacqueline. Bonjour tout le monde. Merci d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. Mitacs has been proud to partner with the federal government for more than 20 years, and obviously we thank them for their continuing support. The federal government support to Mitacs has allowed us to build projects with more than 6,000 private and not-for-profit organizations across the country, and of course provide internships to tens of thousands of Canada's best and brightest young innovators, and we certainly look forward to expanding this work. En bâtissant des partenariats avec des institutions académiques et des entreprises canadiennes, Mitacs crée des opportunités pour les jeunes Canadiennes et Canadiens pour en soutenant des entreprises canadiennes en leur fournissant le talent dont elles ont besoin pour réussir sur le marché mondial très compétitif. COVID-19 has made the already difficult journey from academia to the job market harder for many young Canadians. Last spring, as the minister mentioned, the federal government invested an additional $40 million in Mitacs, and that's above and beyond the generous support we're already being provided with, to provide 5,000 additional internships for students and support small and medium-sized enterprises as part of its initial COVID-19 economic response. And we, of course, fulfilled that mandate and, in fact, exceeded it. Grâce en grande partie à ce financement, nous avons pu créer créé plus de 17 000 stages pendant le COVID-19 qui ont permis à la jeunesse novatrice canadienne de mener l'innovation et le développement économique. Against the backdrop of COVID-19 and its economic impact in Canada and abroad, there is hope on the horizon. Canada is at the front of the pack when it comes to vaccination rates, and the 2021 federal budget laid out a very ambitious roadmap for a strong, inclusive, and innovative economic recovery. Now, of course, we were included in that. We're very grateful for the recent budget announcement, which included $708 million over 5 years for Mitacs, and that's in addition to funding we're already scheduled to receive from the federal government. Je veux prendre ce moment pour vous remercier personnellement, Monsieur le Ministre, pour votre confiance and votre appui. I could go on about the incredible work being done by our young innovators and companies across the country and why the 2021 budget funding for Mitacs will make a real difference in building a more innovative Canada. But don't take it from me. As the minister has said, we have brought together a group of fantastic interns and industry partners for this virtual showcase today, and they'll do a much better job than I could of describing the fantastic work that they're doing and the experience that working with Mitacs has brought to them. Back to you, Jacqueline.
Thank you so much, John. Merci, John. Yes, as John just mentioned, we're going to hear directly from some of our interns and industry partners. Up first, we have John Hodgins. John is the CEO of Acrolab, a Windsor-based thermal engineering company that has hired Mitacs interns in both our Accelerate stream and also as part of the newly created business strategy internship program. Take it away, John.
Merci, Jacqueline. Good afternoon. I'm John Hodgins, CEO of Acrolab Limited, and I'd like to thank you for the invitation to participate in today's event and share Acrolab's experience with the Mitacs program in particular. Acrolab has had the opportunity over the past few years to work with our local Mitacs team on 2 separate programs, the Accelerate and the new business strategy internships. In the former case, we've been working with the University of Western Ontario, and in the latter with the University of Windsor. The Accelerate internship is a very ambitious and systematic research project focused on our core technology manufactured here in Ontario. The ability to simulate the performance of our trademark heat transfer devices known as isobars in support of industrial manufacturing processes and specialized commercial products will not only contribute to advanced manufacturing in Canada, but will enhance the collective capability of Canadian industry. The Accelerate internship will take a number of years to fully develop and define the expression, and in order to define the expressions needed to characterize phase change performance of our products. I know that's a little technical, but it's what we do. But the expert mentorship provided to, and the drive and enthusiasm of the interns selected have established a solid foundation for progressive and sustainable research in achieving reliable and repeatable simulation processes. The business strategy internship was an excellent experience for Acrolab in teaming up with our local business school to build and strengthen the personal and professional networks in the local manufacturing sector, as well as broaden the scope of future markets for local businesses. The program shows a lot of promise, and I believe that by expanding the Mitacs offering to include business development and market expansion, that this will significantly impact go-to-market activities and market validation efforts for small to medium-sized enterprises. The business strategy internship project was successful in developing a framework for assessing market validation and identifying key milestones for Acrolab's go-to-market strategy. I believe that the expansion of Mitacs to include business school interns will both enhance the opportunities available within the manufacturing sector and potential for SMEs to leverage current and future business concepts and practices studied in business school. As a manufacturer, and perhaps more importantly as an SME, resources are limited, both financial and personnel-wise. The Mitacs program is definitely an essential part of our overall research programming for the year, and was the starting point for launching our simulation software development just over 2 years ago. It has already provided key input into our analysis of real-world challenges and the feedback we provide to our customers. The rapid changes in technology and continuous search for novel and custom solutions to manufacturing processes has elevated the requirement to further develop the application knowledge and market awareness inside here at AcroLab. The Mitacs program has been instrumental in helping us keep up with such a dynamic environment. I would like to thank Mitacs, specifically our local director of business development, Katie Fakisha, Dr. Chris DeGroot from the University of Western Ontario, and Dr. Fazil Baki from the University of Windsor, our interns, of course, DP Sarkar and Katrina Manzoko, and of course, the entire team here at AcroLab. Thank you.
Thank you, John. It's tremendous to hear the impressive results of these programs. Maintenant, nous allons écouter André-Anne Adam, présidente et cofondatrice d'Animora. André-Anne est une ancienne stagiaire de Mitacs. Son stage a mené au lancement de son entreprise, Animora, qui fabrique un gel dentaire pour les chiens entièrement naturel. L'année passée, en fait, elle a reçu le prix Mitacs Entrepreneur Agente de Changement. André-Anne, la parole est à vous.
Merci. Bonjour, je suis André-Anne Adam de l'entreprise Animora et je suis vraiment honorée d'être présente avec vous pour cet événement aujourd'hui. Pour mettre un peu en contexte, Animora est une entreprise qui développe et fabrique des produits innovants en santé animale. Donc, notre premier produit est un gel dentaire au canneberge. Donc, c'est comme un dentifrice pour les chiens et pour les chats. Il facilite vraiment les soins dentaires grâce à son goût qui est apprécié par les animaux et aussi grâce à ses différents modes d'administration. Donc, la canneberge, ce n'est pas une saveur, mais bien l'ingrédient actif. Donc, la canneberge est déjà reconnue pour ses propriétés antibactériennes et anti-inflammatoires. Donc, j'ai fait le programme Mitacs Accélération dans le cadre de ma maîtrise en microbiologie dans un laboratoire de recherche à la Faculté de médecine dentaire à l'Université Laval. Mon projet portait sur l'effet des produits naturels contre les bactéries buccales de chiens et de chats. Donc, le programme Mitacs m'a permis de concilier un démarrage d'entreprise, mais aussi des études graduées. Donc, j'ai pu me concentrer sur mon projet tout en accumulant beaucoup de connaissances dans ce domaine de niche. J'ai ainsi récolté des données sur l'effet de la canneberge et d'autres produits naturels contre les bactéries responsables de la maladie parodontale et de la mauvaise haleine chez le chien et le chat. Donc, ces données sont vraiment essentielles pour notre entreprise puisqu'elles permettent de rejoindre les vétérinaires qui vont ensuite recommander nos produits à leurs patients. Donc, lors du programme Mitacs, j'étais étudiante à temps plein, mais je suis aussi devenue entrepreneur à temps plein, tout comme mon conjoint qui est également mon partenaire d'affaires. Donc, en plus d'apporter beaucoup de valeur à l'entreprise, le programme m'a permis de ne pas avoir de stress financier et ainsi de concentrer toute mon énergie à mon projet. Ça a vraiment fait une grande différence. Donc, comme l'a mentionné Jacqueline, j'ai également été lauréate du prix Mitacs Entrepreneur Agente de Changement. En plus de la belle reconnaissance, autant du volet entrepreneurial, mais aussi scientifique, ce prix nous a apporté énormément de visibilité. Suite à la remise du prix, j'ai aussi été nommée lauréate du mois Le Soleil à Radio-Canada. Et cela a pu m'apporter un article de journal, une entrevue à la radio et même une publicité à la télévision. Donc, pour conclure, ce que je préfère le plus à être entrepreneur, c'est vraiment de faire une réelle différence dans mon domaine. Donc, notre mission chez Animora, c'est d'améliorer la santé et le bien-être des animaux. Et c'est vraiment grâce à la science que nous y arrivons. Donc, en moins de 3 ans, les produits d'Animora sont maintenant recommandés dans plus de 550 points de vente, dont 150 cliniques vétérinaires. Donc, c'est plus de 80 000 unités de gel dentaire au canneberge qui ont été vendues et nous sommes maintenant prêts à poursuivre notre croissance à l'extérieur du Québec grâce à nos nouveaux distributeurs situés en Ontario et en Colombie-Britannique. Donc, ce n'est qu'un début pour Animora. Merci.
Merci, André-Anne. Now, I'd like to turn things over to Raghvender Sadav. Raghvender first came to Canada from India as part of the Mitacs Global Link program and stayed here after his internship to complete his master's in computer science at York University. Since then, he's founded his own company, Newport Robotics, Canada's first autonomous trucking company. Last year, he was honored with an Environmental Entrepreneur Award at the Mitacs Awards. Over to you.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Hi. I'm Raghvender, the President and CEO of Newport Robotics, and I'm extremely honored to be joining today's event. In May 2014, I arrived in Canada as a Mitacs Global Link research intern for a robotics project at the University of Toronto. The experience instilled in me the ability to see and think differently when working on a particular project. I had the independence to try out things and come up with novel solutions that had real-world applications. Most importantly, during my summer internship, I had the opportunity to meet my master's supervisor, John Sotsas, at York University. This then set out the course for the next 2 years of my life. I did my master's publishing over 7 papers, winning 2 Best Paper awards, presenting at different research and business conferences. I would like to point out here that Mitacs provided an additional $10,000 of funding, which allowed me to not only attend research conferences, but also attend business conferences and different exhibitions, which broadened the horizon of my experience and knowledge. This allowed to build connections with leading researchers, engineers, and entrepreneurs throughout the world. During my master's, I worked on building algorithms for autonomous navigation of indoor robots. I learned concepts in robotics that had a direct impact on my mindset of building products in a research environment, and also deployed robots in some cities in Canada. I have also been a Mitacs mentor for the last 3 years, helping and giving back to the younger generation, not only helping them settle in a new environment, but also inspiring them to follow their dreams in whatever field they choose. Overall, I would say Mitacs has not only provided me with the technical and the research skill set, but I also built the most important social and people skills as a Mitacs mentor. Using this experience and knowledge that I gained during my master's, I directly used it to set up my company, Newport Robotics, focusing on self-driving trucks, along with my co-founder, Baozin Chen, who I met during my master's. The difference here was, instead of the robots that I used in my lab that could carry 15 kgs, these semi-trucks can haul over 15,000 kgs. And that is the difference what a bigger thinking and attending bigger conferences brings to you. In September 2020, I was honored to be a recipient of the 2020 Mitacs Environmental Entrepreneurship Award and also won the Audience Favorite Award. The media exposure that we got through this enabled us to publicly launch Newport Robotics, Canada's first autonomous trucking company, and we got featured in different media outlets such as Inside Logistics, Truck News, we had a Mitacs Impact Story, etc. Our company outlook and reputation was significantly enhanced through the award. We additionally got accepted into the UC Berkeley Skytech Accelerator as a Canadian company. We raised an angel round subsequently. Recently, we made a public announcement on our partnership with Canadian Tire and the Ontario government. We are bringing autonomous trucks in Canada. All of this took enough time and effort to get there. Long days, longer nights for the last 5 years, both during and after my master's. When you love something, you do all that it takes to get there. We are just beginning to have a North American presence and subsequently establishing a global one. My favorite thing about being an entrepreneur is that it tests it all. It tests your psychological abilities, people skills, technical skills, the research mindset, accounting, HR, basically everything. As a founder, you're switching context on a daily basis. You basically get gist of the most aspects of life, and this is what I love the most. To conclude, I would like to thank my parents, brother, my co-founder, my team members, all my mentors, and everybody who has been a part of the journey so far. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Raghvender. Okay, and next up, our last speaker for today is Audrey Taylor. Audrey est une chercheuse à l'Université Simon Fraser et une gagnante du prix Mitacs pour innovation exceptionnelle. Audrey's research is focused on improving the lithium-ion batteries need for electric cars by allowing battery developers to see inside them and enable maximum performance and longevity. Audrey, if you could please share some of your experiences with us.
Sure, thank you, Jacqueline. My name is Audrey Taylor, and I'm honored to join today's event. And I'd like to thank you all for bringing us together and hosting this wonderful event. My Mitacs program experience provided me with the opportunity to network with professionals in my field and tackle relevant problems related to industrial research and development. It provided me with an advantage that I otherwise would not have been able to achieve. I was able to apply the skills that I had developed through my years as a PhD student to an industrial-based project. I was able to demonstrate that I could achieve relevant deliverables toward a successful completion of the project. The impact of this work is relevant to high energy density battery material development for lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicle applications. We were able to develop a powerful diagnostic tool that allowed us to evaluate nanometer thick protective coatings. These are surface coatings on relatively large high voltage spinel particles. The technique is analogous to slicing of a cake, for example. In order to look inside the cake without damaging it, you need to cut ultra thin slices to be able to share the cake with everybody. Now, these battery cross sections were similarly prepared and sequentially screened using electron-based microscopy techniques, which allowed us to obtain atomic scale information such as the crystallinity of the battery and the composition of the battery. And so this project allowed me to successfully complete a publication, which I am extremely excited to get out the door. And it provided me with training that I wouldn't have been able to acquire in the academic lab setting. So this project really allowed me to, I would say, really have an advantage in the workforce. For example, currently I'm applying to positions in research and development, and this experience with Mitacs is something that I keep coming back to repeatedly in both interviews and on my resume. I was able to demonstrate adaptability, initiative, and strong teamwork skills through this project, and this opportunity has really made my resume stand out. And I want to thank you all for providing me with this opportunity. And I'd also like to thank my supervisor, my research group, and the company Nano One that I also was working with. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Audrey. Terrific to hear. Cela conclut les présentations d'aujourd'hui. Merci à tous. Minister, before we wrap up, I wanted to give you a chance to share any final thoughts or questions for our panelists.
Well, Jacqueline, my first comment is you're a great host. That I would start with that. You're a great host of an event like that. And I just want to say to our panelists, all of them, when I think about John, thank you for believing in our youth and making sure that you provide opportunities in fields of STEM, you know, in science. And I was very interested in learning more about thermal engineering and what you're doing in the Accelerate program. And I just want to say thank you for trusting Mitacs. Thank you for trusting our future generation, because you see from the stories we've heard how much they can contribute to your organization. Andréane, écoute, c'est un grand plaisir. Moi, quand j'ai vu hier, je suis allé sur votre site, j'ai découvert qui vous étiez. Je suis impressionné de voir. Je me demandais combien vous en aviez vendu, mais déjà 85 000 unités. Moi, je vous lève mon chapeau. Vous êtes inspirante. Votre histoire, c'est une histoire de cœur, c'est une histoire de tête. Faites ça avec votre conjoint. Vous avez des plans d'expansion en Colombie-Britannique, en Ontario, je pense. Et moi, je vous vois changer le monde parce que vous avez l'opportunité aussi d'amener ces produits-là naturels à travers le monde. Et si on peut vous aider avec les délégués commerciaux, je suis sûr qu'avec les gens de Mitacs, avec John, avec Jacqueline ou Adam qui est dans leur équipe, on pourra vous connecter avec les bonnes personnes parce que moi, je pense que vous avez un filon intéressant parce que la santé animale, c'est devenu très important pour les gens. Alors moi, je vous félicite, puis vous êtes vraiment inspirante. Vous êtes l'emblème du succès. C'est facile pour nous, vous savez, John, Jacqueline et moi, on est un peu les ambassadeurs de votre succès. Alors c'est facile pour nous de dire ces choses-là parce que c'est vous qui êtes l'excellence de ce que vous faites. Ravinder, listen, I wish, I'm so pleased to have met you electronically. At least you're an inspiring leader. Just listening to you, I wish we could have more time because you have chosen Canada, and I insist on the word chosen. And maybe Mitacs gave you the opportunity, but you have chosen Canada. And it's thanks to smart people like you that we're going to solve the biggest challenge of humanity. I think climate change is one. And when you're thinking about autonomous vehicle and what you're doing, it's really inspiring. And I'm happy that the ecosystem was there to support you. I think that's what's unique about Mitacs, and that's what's unique about Canada is the ecosystem. And I said that, you know, I'm a former foreign affairs minister, and I said, you know, what's the difference is that people vote with their feet. We have more and more young people coming to Canada because they see that this is a country which offers unparalleled opportunities, stability, predictability. You know, people inclusion, diversity, which are championed in our country. And it's thanks to people like you that I go at bed at night and I know that we're in good hands because we have smart people who are going to look after our country and humanity. Audrey, what a pleasure to meet you as well electronically. Really, I was so excited to hear about your project because as the minister who has to bring more EV vehicles in Canada, you would imagine that the battery ecosystem is one which obviously is something on my mind. And to know that you're doing, I was really intrigued about inside lithium ion, you know, it really sparked my interest. And there again, I'm amazed that you're changing the world. And thanks to people like you, we're going to be able to be a leader in that. And I would encourage you, and I'm so happy that Mitacs could have provided you that opportunity. Sometimes I feel it's the first opportunity, at least in my case. It's the first job, which is always the toughest. It's the first recognition. It's the first internship. It's always the first because then you move on to your second and the third. And trust me, everything is easier after the first one because you have something to look behind and something to look forward. But to have people trust you to give you that first opportunity, I think this is really the mission of Mitacs. And that's why for us to be there to support you in any way we can, whether it's to our granting council or now with Mitacs, I'm sure you're on to something great and you're going to make a difference. And I'm delighted to see smart people like you, to be surrounded by smart people like you who are tackling some of these challenges and the way that Mitacs is structured, which has given you the space, the opportunity, and the financing to pursue that in a way that you could be where you are today. So, Jacqueline, I could go on and on. You see me and you may know me. I could go on and on to sing your praise, but I want to say to you, Jacqueline, particularly for the marketing that you're doing and making sure more and more young people know about Mitacs, whatever I can do to be in that communication journey with you, to be an ambassador of excellence that you bring. And to you, John, thank you for, I know you joined just, I think it's 1 month before COVID-19 lockdown. I must say for someone who joined, I feel a bit like you. I changed job for my living room. Actually, I've never been to Ottawa since December. I'm calling you from my home. So I feel a bit the same thing. I changed job for my living room. And now, you know, the great thing is through, you know, virtual reality, or at least virtually, we can do a lot of things. And it just shows, John, the extreme pleasure we have to have a leader like you. And I think you have one of the gem of Canada in your hands. I know it's in good hands, and I'm proud to have someone of your caliber who can make sure that we continue in that great mission, and we will be there to support you. So all of those who are watching us now, it's growing by the numbers now, Jacqueline. You did miracles because now we're close to 70 participants. To all of you young people, really seize the moment, be ambitious. I think there's never been a better time for you to lead, and certainly with Mitacs and with the Prime Minister and the whole team, we want to create the ecosystem for you to succeed, for you to bring us further, and certainly to bring Canada as a leader in the world. So with that, I'll turn over to you. Jacqueline, merci encore de m'avoir accueilli. John et toute l'équipe de Mitacs, continue to do the great thing you're doing, and we will be with you along the way.
Merci bien, Ministre Champagne.
Merci à vous. Bonne fin de journée. Merci. À bientôt.
Merci.
Thank you so much. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask everyone to leave their cameras on so we could get one quick picture.
I will stay for sure.
Could I kindly ask everyone to put their cameras on? I'll see if Adam can get us a few pictures.
Oh, I can tell you, he's pretty good at that. He made the youth longer and younger.
He's pretty good at everything. Well, thank you again, Minister Champagne. It's been an absolute treat, and to all of our incredible interns and industry partners, and to John. This is all one big supportive environment to drive innovation forward. So we're very grateful. That's all we have for today, and we'll look forward to seeing you all again soon. Merci beaucoup et au revoir.